What we can tell you is that he has asked the club that he would like to explore his options this transfer window with, of course, that interest from Liverpool. Since the weekend when Alexander Isak was left out of the squad to play Celtic, that Isak has been affected by the speculation surrounding him. In fact, Eddie Howe insinuated that afterwards and said that was the reason why he was sent home back here to Newcastle and wasn't sat on the bench or involved at all against Celtic. What I can tell you now is that Isak has informed the club that he wants to explore his options in this transfer window, of course, with interest in him. But Isak has been left behind here on Tyneside while his teammates and his manager fly to Singapore. They took off around about 2 hours ago for the latest part of their pre-season preparations. Singapore first, then on to South Korea. Yeah, well, clearly, Rob, he's unsettled, and I think Eddie Howe is going to have to. I mean, look, we know he's a great man manager. He is going to have to do the best man management job of all time, really, to try and get Isak into a positive frame of mind going into the season. Because reading between the lines, the fact he's asked to explore his options, his head has been turned. Obviously, he's been left back here in Newcastle, one, due to the injury, and two, due to the fact that he has been affected by the interest, the speculation, everything that's going on. Alexander Isak feels that, well, look, he is. He's one of the best players in the Premier League. He's arguably the best striker in the Premier League. He feels that he should be paid similar to what these top strikers are, and he's not at Newcastle United, but he's, I would imagine, of the belief that if he was to move to another club, whether that's Liverpool or elsewhere, he would be remunerated in that way. So I think the club are going to have to come to some kind of conclusion here where, does he get a pay rise? Do they allow him to speak to other clubs, or do they allow time and space, and perhaps the situation will maybe calm down over the next few weeks once Isak's had some time to reflect on the situation? But you ask me what happens now. Well, what happens now? Either someone comes in and stumps up the money that Newcastle are looking for, as I said to you a moment ago, £150 million, or Isak signs a new contract on bigger money, or he just gets his head back on the fact that he's a Newcastle United player, because he is, and attempts to begin the season in a positive frame of mind. But Newcastle wanted to use this window to build. They wanted to bring in 4 players, a goalkeeper, they wanted to bring in a central defender, a right winger, and another forward. So they've managed to bring in Anthony Elanga for 52 plus £3 million. They wanted to bring in a second striker to come in and compete with Alexander Isak. I told you a moment ago, of course, about their talks with Eintracht Frankfurt over Hugo Ekitike. Liverpool hijacked that deal, and they still retain an interest in Isak as well. It's not what the Newcastle United supporters want to hear ahead of a Champions League season, where of course they're going to be battling on the front of the Champions League and the Premier League as well. They want to hold on to their best players. This is the last thing that they wanted to hear, that Alexander Isak's head essentially has been turned going into the new season.
Luis Díaz looks increasingly likely to leave Liverpool this summer, with major clubs across Europe circling and negotiations already underway behind the scenes. The Colombian winger, who joined the Reds in January 2022 from FC Porto, has been a standout performer at Anfield, known for his explosive pace, technical flair, and relentless work ethic. However, as he enters the final 2 years of his current contract, uncertainty around his future has grown. Despite his importance to the squad, talks over a contract extension have stalled, and multiple sources now suggest that Liverpool may be open to cashing in, especially if they can secure a sizable fee to reinvest in other areas of the team. Among the front-runners for his signature are Bayern Munich, who have shown the most serious intent so far. Reports from both England and Germany confirm that the Bundesliga giants have submitted a formal offer in the region of €67.5 million, £58 to £60 million. Though Liverpool rejected that bid, holding out for closer to €80 to €100 million. Interestingly, Díaz is said to be open to the move and views Bayern as a favourable destination, particularly due to the club's Champions League ambitions and the appeal of playing under a manager like Vincent Kompany. Sources close to the player have confirmed that Bayern's approach is very concrete, and that Díaz has already informed Liverpool of his interest in joining the German champions should an agreement be reached. Meanwhile, Barcelona have also entered the picture, having made initial contact regarding Díaz's availability. However, Liverpool quickly turned away their opening inquiry and currently consider the Catalan side's financial situation a limiting factor. Additionally, clubs in the Saudi Pro League, including Al Nassr, have made it clear they're willing to meet Liverpool's valuation and offer Díaz a massive salary package. While tempting from a financial standpoint, Díaz reportedly prefers to remain in Europe and continue playing at the highest competitive level. Liverpool's willingness to negotiate appears driven by multiple factors, not only Díaz's contract situation but also the club's own plans to reshape the attack under new leadership. With targets like Alexander Isak being monitored, Díaz's sale could help fund those reinforcements. That said, the club is not under immediate financial pressure to sell and will only consider parting ways if their valuation is met. Liverpool are actively pursuing a deal to sign Marc Guéhi from Crystal Palace this summer, as the club looks to strengthen its defensive core ahead of a crucial new era under Arne Slot. The 24-year-old England international has emerged as a priority target at Anfield, with sources indicating that Liverpool have already opened dialogue with Palace and the players' representatives. Guéhi, who enjoyed a standout 2024-25 campaign and played a key role in Palace's historic FA Cup triumph, has attracted attention from several Premier League clubs, including Tottenham, Chelsea, and Newcastle, but it is Liverpool who are believed to be leading the race. With just 1 year remaining on his contract and no extension agreed, Palace may be forced to sell in order to avoid losing him on a free transfer next summer. Guéhi's growing reputation as a composed, athletic, and tactically intelligent centre-back has made him a natural fit for the Reds' evolving system under Slot, who is reportedly looking to modernize the defensive line with ball-playing defenders who can handle high-pressing systems and swift transitions. Liverpool's interest in Guéhi comes amid mounting concerns over defensive depth. While Virgil van Dijk remains a central figure, the club is preparing for long-term succession planning, particularly with Ibrahima Konaté's injury record and the departure of Jarell Quansah to RB Leipzig earlier this window. Joe Gomez, though versatile, has struggled with consistency and injuries, and Joel Matip left at the end of last season. Slot and new sporting director Richard Hughes are determined to address this vulnerability by securing a reliable, Premier League-proven centre-back before the start of the new campaign. Guéhi fits the bill not just in terms of experience and leadership. Having captained Palace during large stretches of last season, but also in his composure on the ball, positional discipline, and ability to play in both a back four and back three setup. Negotiations between the clubs remain ongoing, with Liverpool prepared to offer a package in the region of £40 to £45 million, including performance-related bonuses. Crystal Palace, however, are reportedly holding out for a higher figure, closer to £55 million, citing Guéhi's importance to their squad and recent form for the England national team at Euro 2024. Despite that, the player himself is believed to be open to the move, with the prospect of Champions League football, regular starts, and a chance to compete for major silverware proving highly appealing. Liverpool are expected to push forward aggressively in the coming days to try and complete a deal before pre-season intensifies, with Arne Slot keen to have the bulk of his defensive unit settled early.